Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's layout, we are doing a traveler's notebook spread in, I believe this one is it's Cocoa Daisy. So I've been slowly filling this one up. Some using Cocoa Daisy products, and then other ones have been with Traci Reed, and today will be a Traci Reed one. So I've mentioned in the past that I love working in this size. It's been very easy to kind of stay current is my explanation for my memory keeping, and I really appreciate that. So everything that's been happening in October has gone in here so far. So this is just another October story, and there'll still be a few pages, so I still got to go back and get a few photos off of my phone. I'll be working with the Goldenrod Collection, which is Traci Reed's one of her newest releases. She did do Autumn Enchantment. This was Goldenrod, which was released just prior to it. So I have printed out the pages. You saw this in the haul. So these are technically the 12 by 12 pages. I don't have a printer. I just sent them to Office Depot. So they came back looking like this, which I'm actually okay with because it does fit the size of a traveler's notebook. So it comes out to be like, what, 8 by 8 square? Is it an 8 by 8 square? Yeah, most likely. And then I had mentioned in that haul that I like working with her digital kit because it makes me pre-plan a layout a little bit more, which is fine. And then I can also print out the elements I want to use from her like collection of stickers and ephemera and her bits. So this is the alpha that was included in the collection. There was the black version, I believe it's orange, and then there is like a marigold color that is included in the kit. So I obviously already chose out my title to be Beautiful. Then her floral elements were here, and I believe on the sticker sheet they are a little smaller, so you have the ability, and this was just like in a Word document. I have a MacBook Pro, so it was done in pages, where I cut and pasted it here and then made one a little bit bigger and one a little smaller and then bigger and smaller and repeated it. And these are some of the flare badges too that I thought I would use as like a cluster for the photo side. And so I was able just to print this off to Office Depot, or if you have a printer at home, which I will have hopefully come December for Christmas. And therefore the page is already in essence done. Now I just got to put it together. So I will walk you through that process. So it's just my tips on showing you how working with a digital kit may seem a little odd, especially if you're so used to buying physical products. But to give Traci Reed's collections a try. She will have more coming out for the holiday season. These were her fall collections, and you can definitely, as you can see, make the layout the way you want to, even if the collection isn't provided. Because imagine too, like if she just had like a ephemera pack, how many times do we always obviously use the pieces that we love in that ephemera pack, and you're always left with the 3 or 4 kind of maybe big or oddly shaped things that really had no place on your layouts that you just kind of hoard forever until you destash them. Well, at least in this regard, those bigger pieces still come with it, but you can pick and choose what you want to actually print and use, and also repeat use the ones that you fell in love with, like a good floral. I actually think American Crafts does offer, because I always say that about a Maggie Holmes floral. Like, I would print 6 sheets of them and like make a layout so luscious and full with those florals. So similar mindset I had here, where I was like, I want definitely to use a lot of these florals, so I'll probably tuck some around the word boo, because the title will be on one side and obviously the large full page photo on the other, and tuck these around so that it's very lush behind it. I will be using, I believe, the stripe paper behind it so it adds some interest, and then there's this gray one to give it a border on this side. Is what I'm thinking. So let's get started. I will just be putting on fast forward while I cut all of these elements out, and then we will put the page together. So let's put this layout together. So I do speed this up enough where you don't have to see me cut out every single thing, just so you get the idea, which is why it's on like 20 times the fast forward speed, just so that you can get the idea that I sit and kind of cut this. I usually put on my audiobook, or maybe I'll watch a YouTube video. Like I said in other videos, fussy cutting is not a big deal for me. I could have put this through my Silhouette, but that requires extra steps in my opinion too, with my computer and the cut file lines and the mat and everything else. So for me, fussy cutting scissors and listening to things is the way to go. So like I had stated earlier, when you're using digital products, it's fun because it gives you the opportunity to definitely pre-plan your layout so that it goes smoothly and you already know what you're doing. So here I was just kind of auditioning the right and left side on where to put the title or not, and whether or not I wanted to leave that white space in between the big letters, and I decided to cut them out, as you saw there. So sometimes too, when I'm working with a layout that has just a lot of flat embellishments, because everything's paper, I try to think of different ways I can add some texture to it. So I have all this trim that I have hauled, and I keep it on my desk just so that I can always add a little something to the edges of these layouts, and I have done so with maybe the last 2 or 3 of them. And so for this one I do the same. So I added 2 different kind of ribbon trims that give the layout extra interest. So one has a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns on it, hence being a Halloween little story, and then the other side is just kind of like almost like a rick-rack that has like gold foiled thread through it, along with being orange. So it worked out good. Then with the flowers, I know I had described like kind of making them layered behind the letters, but as I did it here, and you can see me auditioning, I like just kind of one. When I did too many of them, it almost took away from the large font itself, and because I did choose that striped pattern paper, it quickly became too busy, I guess, in my like layout opinion looking at it. So I didn't go with that all the flowers I had originally printed out, so I will save them for another layout using this collection. So in order to again add more interest, you can always think about adding maybe enamel dots or washi tape or anything else that adds a little bit more texture. So even some wood veneer, or if you had any cork elements, which I could have also done. I also thought about using some pop dots, like fun foam, to lift up some of the layers or the letters, but I decided against that too. So what I did was break out my glitter paint. So I had one that was it's called Black Opal, and it has all of these black and opal-y colors, and then I used another one on the T-fold, the orange letters, that was all gold, and that spiced them up. So thank you so much for joining. Here's the finished product. I hope you give it a try. Everything will link down below. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Till next time, bye!